London at night lived a different life. The daytime noise dissolved, replaced by the rare glow of street lamps, the smell of wet asphalt, and the hum of solitary cars. People got into taxis as if into safe cocoons. From club doors to flats, from train stations to hotels, no one thought the ride could be their last. Peter Harrison had been a taxi driver for almost 20 years. A 40-year-old man, slightly overweight, with a permanently polite smile and a gray jacket that looked outdated even on him. He was the kind of person no one noticed. Reliable, punctual, quiet. That was how regular clients described him. But Peter had a habit. He listened carefully. Sometimes he asked a follow-up question. It seemed like small talk. In reality, he collected far more about people than his job required. He knew who lived where, when they left home, who they met. Meanwhile, people had started disappearing in London. First students, then office workers. Police linked it to gangs, but found no pattern. Evidence vanished. CCTV cameras caught the missing passengers getting into taxis, and then nothing. Peter read the papers and nodded. Terrible times. But inside him grew a silence, the kind that cannot be explained. On a Saturday night, he picked up a girl outside King's Cross. She wore a red coat, carried a black backpack, and had a heavy gaze. "To Fulham, please," she said, shutting the door. Peter switched on the meter and pulled away smoothly. 10 minutes passed in silence before the girl spoke. "Have you been driving long?" "More than half my life," he smiled. "You know, it's fascinating. I'm writing an article about taxi drivers, how they see the city." Peter tensed for a second. "Interesting topic." "Yes." "And do you know what's more interesting?" She looked at him in the mirror. "Cameras have picked up a black cab in every disappearance case." Peter forced a smile. "There are hundreds of black cabs in London, miss." "Of course," she nodded. "But they all had one detail in common. The driver wore a gray jacket." Peter's hands tightened on the wheel. He wanted to laugh it off, to say it was coincidence, but his voice betrayed him. "Funny, I'm wearing gray too." The girl didn't answer. She opened a notebook and scribbled something down. The remaining 20 minutes dragged unbearably. Peter understood. If she knew too much, he had only two choices. Yet somewhere deep down, he felt this night would be different. A week later, Peter Harrison's name was on every front page in Britain. The girl in the red coat was Emily Carter, a trainee reporter helping a criminology student friend investigate the disappearances. Together they spotted the pattern. Emily risked taking the cab herself to confirm it. When Peter stopped outside her flat, Emily pretended to have forgotten her wallet and invited him inside. Her friend was already waiting. They recorded Peter's slip on a hidden device. Words vague enough for outsiders, but too telling for investigators. The police put him under surveillance the next day. He made a mistake, cleaning out his garage. There they found belongings of the missing, traces of blood, and later, bodies. The arrest was quiet. Peter didn't resist. He only repeated the same phrase. "They all got in my cab by themselves." By themselves. The true shock came later. Peter had a wife and 2 children, who believed he was a kind, honest man. In court, his wife covered her face, while his son whispered, "Dad, please say it isn't true." London was horrified. The press called him the smiling killer in gray. A regular taxi driver, known to neighbors, teachers, colleagues, exposed as a serial murderer who had operated for more than 10 years. Emily Carter could have been his last victim. Instead, she ended his story. Theories about his motives flooded the press. Some blamed childhood trauma, others a hunger for control. In interviews, Peter said only one thing: "I just wanted to be noticed." Those words lingered in the minds of everyone who hailed a taxi at night.